This lesson is all about capitalization rules. The capitalization rules can be divided into two main categories. The so-called the standard rules, and then there's all the other places where capital letters are used. If we look at the standard capitalization rules first, the first place we think of is the start of a sentence. So the first word in a sentence is always uppercase, unless it's a brand name that starts with a lowercase letter, as in, for example, eBay or iPhone. So if eBay or iPhone are the very first words of the sentence, you would still write these with a small letter. You don't capitalize it just because it's a start. And if this sort of bothers you in any way, the only real option you have is to restructure your sentence and write it a different way. All proper nouns are capitalized, and here's a selection of proper nouns: Tom, Jupiter, Wall Street, Buckingham Palace, Tuesday, June, New York. And there is a separate lesson on proper nouns and common nouns, so please have a look at that for more details on this if you need it. And the other standard capitalization rule is the first person pronoun I, and this is always, always, always capital letter. It doesn't matter where it comes in the sentence. There are no exceptions to this. We have the other places where capital letters are used. For instance, in letters and emails, in poetry, and titles and headings. So when we write letters and emails, we usually start something like this. Dear Ms. Brown, many thanks for your letter, blah, blah, blah. That would be a formal version of communication. An informal one would be, say, Hi Bob, did you also have a great time yesterday? And please note, in both instances, it doesn't matter whether it's formal or informal, whether it's a written letter or an email, after the salutation, we start with a capital letter. In this case, many thanks with capital M, and did you with a capital D. Please be careful here, because it could well be that in your native language, there's a different rule in place, but this is the English rule here. In poetry, and really especially traditional poetry, we start each line with a capital letter, no matter how the previous line was punctuated. So if we look at a very short example of a Valentine's Day poem, roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you. And we see that each letter of each line starts with a capital letter, even though it's really only one sentence. There are variations of these, which we'll just have a quick look at. Roses are red, cabbages are green, my face is a laugh, but yours is a scream. Again, one sentence, but with a capital at the start of each line. And just to complete, all good things come in three. My favorite example: roses are red, violets are blue. Some poems rhyme, but this one doesn't. And also in poetry and literature, the letter O is often capitalized when it's used as a direct form of address. So for an example here, we'll look at the Odyssey, which has the line, Tell me, O muse, of that ingenious hero who travelled far and wide. The O in O muse is capitalized as it's being used as an address form. The last place we have is titles and headings, and here we have several options for how we handle capitalization in titles and headings. We can capitalize the first words only, as we see here in title and headings, only the T is capital. We could go to the other extreme and capitalize every word, as we see here, titles and headings, each has a capital letter. Or we can take the middle road and only capitalize significant words, which in this case are titles and headings. The "and" is deemed a non-significant word. And there's no rule that says you have to do it this way. The important thing is to be consistent. And if you're writing, say, a report or a document, there might be an internal style guide that you can refer to that tells you how they prefer it to be done. And if there isn't, the important thing is choose one and stick to that throughout the document. So please be consistent when you're writing documents that use titles and headings.